Welcome back to How to Be a Better DM, the official podcast of Monsters.rent. I'm Justin Lewis.
And I'm Tanner Wayland.
And we are here to help you tell better stories for yourself and your players as you dungeon master sessions of D&D, Dungeons & Dragons. We'd like to give you some quick announcements. We actually have one before the show, and then after the show, if you want to stick around, we have some more announcements then as well. But first, let's talk about this. Tired of being alone? Are you tired of not having any of your players understand you? Are you tired of never truly belonging? Well, you're in luck. All you need to do is join the Guild. The Guild is a unique and exclusive experience that is only open to Dungeon Masters. It is a full community focused on helping ease your DMing burdens. Want to meet other DMs? Join the Guild. Want to discuss your homebrew ideas with people who would appreciate it instead of just telling your cat? Join the Guild. Want to find a place where all your wildest dreams will come true? Join the Guild. Go to monsters.rent/guild and sign up today for free. Wait, that can't be right. Chuck, can you check this again? Is this supposed to be... What? Oh, they're serious? It's free? Oh, okay. All right. Yes, go to monsters.rent/guild and sign up today for free, even though they are crazy for giving this away for free. Common side effects may include burping, sneezing, laughing, breathing, hearing, listening, tasting, farting, critting, sarcasm, and in extreme cases, explosive diarrhea. Awesome. With that out of the way, we can get into today's show. You stand in the central chamber of this strange cavern. You and your companions look at each other warily. Suddenly, a spectral form emerges from the rock wall. It faces you, and then starts drifting slowly in a wide circle around your band. Suddenly, more emerge. They too begin floating lazily around you in a wide circle. As every second passes, more and more ghosts surround you and your companions. Within minutes, there are thousands of them. Some float slower, others faster. Soon you find yourself completely surrounded by countless ghosts of all types, whirling and twirling. Right in front of you, though, it seems as if some sort of pattern emerges. Through all the ghosts moving, it seems as if a large ghostly face towering above you appears, changing always, but somehow still the same. The face opens its mouth and a loud voice says, "What is your question?" You and your companions have done it. You've found the Oracle of Alondris. She will answer any question you ask, and you have an important one. How can you stop the coming war? She'll answer the question, you know this for certain. But then, she'll try to kill you. What would you like to do? Welcome back to the 10th episode of How to Be a Better DM. In simple terms, this show is all about helping you tell better stories as you DM a session of D&D 5e. Before we hop into today's show, let me shout out the master of audio of this show, namely Couchy Audio. If you ever need help with audio tasks, reach out to Couchy Audio on Instagram, direct message at KAHOOTAZ on Instagram, and he'll get you set up. Now, let's hop into today's show. Here is what to do if you're nervous as a first-time DM. First of all, you need to know that every DM is nervous the first time they run a session. In fact, I'm nervous most times I run sessions. It's okay to be nervous. More importantly, it's okay to make mistakes and do things wrong. No matter what happens, you need to promise me this. You need to promise that you will do another session, no matter what. The second session is always more fun than the first. The biggest tragedy is doing the first session, thinking you're bad at it or thinking it's no fun, and giving up. Once you've done 3 or 4 or 5 sessions, then you can give up, I'd say. So here are a few tips. Number 1, let your players know that you are nervous. If this is your first time, you can always tell your players. People love to be empathetic, so they'll work with you, and they'll actually be more patient. Just let them know up front that you're nervous and they will make up some of the gaps. Number 2, keep the session simple. You can do the crazy things later in the next session. In this first session, just keep the plot simple. A to B to C to D. Think about it like that. If you're using a campaign book, follow that and you can add in more flavor later sessions. But by keeping it simple, you won't get flustered when something complicated comes up, because hopefully if you've done your job right, it probably won't. It'll keep things simple, and it'll just be a nice, fun evening with your friends. Number 3 is make sure you understand combat rules, at least generally, enough to run through combat. Make sure you understand the rules and the general ideas behind those rules. For example, you need to know how to roll initiative, and then you need to make sure that every person goes. And you need to understand some things, most of the things they can do in their turn. If you know how combat works, you've basically mastered half of the session. So before the session, make sure you read up on the rules of combat in the player's handbook. Number 4 is listen to other D&D dungeon masters. One thing that's helped me a lot is listening to other DMs on YouTube. They go through the rules often, so it's actually a great reminder and a periodic refresher, but it's also just really fun to listen to them. I would recommend High Rollers on YouTube. They're a group from the UK. They're an awesome group. I love them. There's obviously Critical Role with Matt Mercer. That's probably the most famous one. They're, I think, in Los Angeles. And I also love Viva La Dirt League. They have a D&D stream, I guess, called NPC Man D&D. They're hilarious. They actually do a little bit extra, so you should check them out. But they're all great options. Just pick one you like and go with it. Number 5 is to role play the role play. If you want, you can even do a dry run of the session in the mirror. Sped up, of course, because that would take forever. Or you can do it with another person. This just helps to get some of the kinks out, and more importantly, it helps you practice those parts that you've already prepared to sound even better. I'm talking about the things that you've written out verbatim. Obviously, there's going to be parts that you have to do on the fly, but going through the order of the session will keep that in your mind, and it'll keep you organized during the session. Number 6 is just to choose awesome players. It's easier to DM when your players are awesome, and it's better if they've had experience playing D&D before. But choosing players that haven't is okay. Just make sure that you get along with them. That's a must. Don't D&D or don't DM a group of people that you don't think you'll enjoy playing with if it's your first time. You'll regret it. Honestly, I'm not even sure if you should DM for a group of people that you don't like, period. But what do I know? Number 7, this one's an interesting one. Intentionally make a mistake. If you're nervous about your first session, then this is a simple fix. You're probably nervous because you want it to be perfect, or at least you want to do a good job, which is understandable. Sometimes we as humans, though, we forget that we can make mistakes and still do well. So within the first 5 minutes of your session, intentionally make a mistake. Then correct yourself and say, oops, my mistake. 9 times out of 10, your players won't care. And this will help you calm down because you'll realize that you can make mistakes and it doesn't matter at all. So that's it. In summary, number 1, let your players know you're nervous. Number 2, keep the session simple. Number 3, make sure you understand combat rules, at least generally. Number 4, listen to other dungeon masters. Number 5, roleplay the roleplay. Number 6, choose awesome players. And number 7, intentionally make a mistake. Again, the most important thing here is to make sure that you do your second session. The second session is always better than the first. You'll have way more fun, and you'll love this hobby way more. Thank you guys for listening to today's episode. As always, send me a direct message on Instagram at Geronimo Levis with any questions, comments, suggestions, or even just to tell how your campaign is going. I've had a couple people reach out, and it has been honestly the highlight of my week when that happens. Just hearing someone say, hey, this is an awesome show. This is what we're doing. I'm doing, for example, someone reached out and was like, hey, I'm doing a campaign with some bards and things, and it was kind of a cool idea. So if you would like to reach out, definitely reach out to me at Geronimo Levis on Instagram. I appreciate you listening and appreciate the show. Give it a rating and review. But until next time, let's roll initiative. Thank you for listening to today's show. We really appreciate your support and your patronage. We have a few more announcements to go over. First,
did you ever fall in love with the library as a kid? It was a place where you could experience 1,000 stories without having to buy 1,000 books. That is what Monsters.Rent can do for your D&D campaign. You can rent and swap out as many quality miniature monsters and creatures for your D&D party as you could ever want, without having to buy them. You can rescue villagers from a kobold camp, or lead your party through the fighting forest, or many more adventures. We're coming out with new bundles all the time. Just sign up for our subscription to get access to your own personal library of minis. Go to monsters.rent to find out more. That's the website. Monsters, with an S, .rent. Get your library pass to a world of minis today.
We also wanted to let you know that today's episode is sponsored by Stardust and Dragons. I'm going to let one of the cast of Stardust and Dragons, Christian Hatcher, and his crew tell you a little bit more about it.
This August, a new adventure podcast is coming to a platform near you, filled with action,
Shoot one of the two of them. We can't keep taking hits like that.
drama,
Everything that she's been doing, everything she's going to do, finally sets in.
and stardust.
Help! Help! Someone, please!
Find out more about this epic odyssey at stardustanddragons.com, where adventure awaits in the stars.
That's all the announcements we have today. Again, thank you so much for everything you do for us. You make this show possible. Like we said before, we'll be back next week with another great episode, and until then, let's go ahead and roll initiative.